As we've previously discussed, the hybrid office is here to stay. But how do we maintain engagement and connection when everything we do is online? In our rush to support remote working, is there now a real danger of detachment? Welcome to Talking HR Trends with Natal and Tom, where we explore the latest hot topics and business challenges impacting the people side of organisations. Stick around to the end for our practical top tip, and please like and subscribe so you get the next video in the series. Hi Tom, how are you today?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
Good. Looking good in green.
Thank you.
Now, we've talked a lot about the hybrid office already, and we said that, well, the pandemic simply accelerated a trend that was happening where more and more there is an opportunity in some industries, not all, for people to choose where they work. So whether that be in the office, whether that be at home, or maybe even somewhere more exotic like the beach. So this is the more sort of personalized way of building a hybrid office. And we're actually now seeing senior leaders accept that, yes, this is possible and you can still be productive as an organization. But with this comes the threat of detachment. And you've pointed this out in your latest 2021 HR Trend Institute report, that so many of the factors that we know feed into employee experience or employee engagement are at threat here. So things like collaborating with your team, seeing them face to face and having discussions, the sense of belonging that comes with that. So what's your concerns here? You've highlighted it in your report, so you obviously see this as a big threat. Talk me through your thoughts.
Yeah, so I think we should not underestimate this. It's not just moving work from the office to home and then there we go. We have already said in the past, different persons experience it in different ways. For some people, it's easier than other people. But if you look at important drivers of engagement, many of them are common for everybody. It's elements like you say a sense of belonging, but it's also things like, do I understand what is expected of me? Yeah. Am I able to use my strengths? Am I recognized for the good work I'm doing? My teammates support me and support me when necessary. I'm challenged. So all those elements are important, and in a sense you could say all those elements are under threat in the new situation.
Yeah.
Like the team element where you are not in with your team. Yeah, sometimes in a Zoom meeting. But you know those things that happen in the office. If you and I are in the same office, something terrible happens, or in comes the CEO with a stupid remark. Then I have just look at you and maybe we laugh a little bit. That releases the tension. But in the home situation, that is not possible.
I know. And I think we've previously talked about that winking in a virtual situation or any kind of side remark simply does not work.
Don't do it.
Exactly. So what seems to have happened here is in our rush to work remotely, and look, it's sort of been forced upon us as well with what's happened. But we've sort of gone into thinking like we've done before. So, okay, let's just have our meeting like we've always had our meeting, but now it's over Zoom. But actually we need to rethink how we do things like recognition, team collaboration, building that sense of belonging. We actually have to approach this in a new way to build it in a digital way. So I think we need to go back to the drawing board with a lot of this. You've mentioned quite a few key components that feed into employee engagement, and you've said that a lot of these are at risk. What's the evidence so far that's out there that working digitally or, working in a more remote way is, that employee engagement is under threat? What's any data on that?
Yeah, and it's early days, but I've seen reports, for example, that looked at different groups in the organization and how engagement is developing. And there they saw, and it's no surprise, but traditionally, for example, the groups that are really have a high engagement are new employees
Yeah.
in year one. That's cognitive dissonance partly because they have just chosen the job and they say, okay, I'm super enthusiastic. But that's the group where engagement has dropped largest, the largest drop we've seen there. And you
Okay,
can
that's
imagine that
interesting.
new employees are under threat because it's not so easy to start in a new job, especially if that job is for a big part virtually. Yeah. You don't have that sense of belonging. You don't know the people. You don't know exactly what is expected of you. So that's a risky group. Not only the people new in jobs, but also people who have switched jobs
Yeah.
under threat.
Yeah. And these are actually sort of situations or problems that we know. So we should know already that anyone that's starting a new job or going into a new role needs more support. So actually we can, without too much analysis, we can probably go straight into these problems and start to solve them if for the new working environment. What's interesting is that I'm thinking we need to get more in touch with the experience that people are going through. So previously when we've done onboarding, we've often just thought that people need to be informed of all the things that exist at this new organization to get them up and running, make sure they're logged in. But maybe now we actually need to have more concern or more attention paid to the sense of building that belonging as people join an organization. So this is sort of a new way of actually designing our solutions. That leads me into sort of asking, well, what's your recommendations around this topic? So you've talked a lot around detachment in your report, and just then you sort of said, okay, well, there's evidence of certain kind of situations that we need to target first. What's your recommendations on how people can go about this in our new way of working?
Yeah, so I think it is not as if it was already everything was good in the past and now we are moving into the new situation. Example, onboarding. Well, to be honest, for many people, the first day on the job was never a highlight in their career. Yeah. So whilst it is relatively easy to organize, still it's not a fantastic experience. But now it becomes even more difficult.
Yes.
So what we should do, as you already hinted to, is let's look at the employee journey. Let's look at the obvious moments that matter, and let's look how we can make those moments in the new situation a highlight.
Yes,
And
definitely.
onboarding is a good example because that's relatively easy to do. And there are simple tools that can help us to connect to people also prior to their first day.
Yeah,
Connect them
definitely.
to their team, make them already part of the team, create a sense of belonging, and then you have day one. Well, you have to do something there. A friend of mine started new in his job a couple of weeks ago. Well, and he's a young person. He did not know what to expect. He was sitting behind his desk at 8 o'clock on that day. Yeah, and nothing happened. Yeah,
No one's there.
yeah,
Exactly.
and then maybe at 9 o'clock they phoned him, but
Yeah.
but that first day, I would, if I had an office, I would call people into the office and say, "Welcome, first day.
Yeah,
we have to."
exactly.
But you can also do it virtually, and so look at the experience, the journey. Look at the obvious moments that matter, and see how you can create the top experience in the new world.
Yeah, and build that connection, which I think
Yeah.
is so important
Yeah.
now, isn't it? Great. So it's all about moments that matter where we truly engage people and actually connect them with our brand and our vision. This takes us into a practical tip that you can do at any time in any of your virtual meetings, and I actually use it all the time now, and it works a treat. So use silent brainstorming. So when you ask people a question or you're going into a group discussion, get everyone to think about it first, silently, write down a few ideas, and then move into the discussion. And it just enriches what happens as a result. So I do recommend that, silent brainstorming. Thanks again for your time today, Tom. It was great to speak to you. This is Talking HR Trends with Natal and Tom. Please like and subscribe to be notified of the next in the series. Thanks again.